All right, good morning, everybody. We are live. Welcome to the Daily Grind Trader. Today, I'm going to be taking a look into trading the NASDAQ 100, scalping, getting an early morning New York session in. So, with that being said, we're going to start on the 1 hour chart, and I'm just going to mark up the chart a little bit, get a little bit of support and resistance, and yeah, here we go. So, recent bottoms, we've had two recent low points here. And that correlates with this low point here and this here. So we're going to go ahead and if you don't know the quick keys, Alt H for horizontal line. There we go. This little peek through, this was definitely a CPI read or a minutes meeting or something. Something was announced here and it went through and then bought right back up. So you know, when you're looking for support and resistance, look for the most obvious and the ones that kind of get hit more than once or kind of more often. Another here, this is a local top, and you can see it was actually kind of a support as well at this point here before it fell through. And in between, do we have anything in between? Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a top here, and this is going to be, you know, support here, resistance here, resistance here. And so far as that, there's another level of support, and then we will have another level of resistance here, where we've got a tap, touch here. So you know, that's what I'm looking at for support and resistance lines, getting set up. Actually, we can get another one right around here. Actually, keep it tighter to the range that we're trading. So put it here. Yeah, a low, an area of support, an area of support, and an area of support here. So now what I'm going to do is go to the 5-minute time frame. That's where we're going to be trading on the 5-minute chart, and add my indicators using RSI. I'm going to be using a moving average. We're going to exponential moving average. Honestly, don't even need the 200 for this style. I can just trade off the 50. And I'm using market sessions just to let me know trading the New York session only. And this New York session is actually a little bit small because I have to leave for work by about 1 p.m. So I time my New York session box to be 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. and that's my trading session box. So that's really important if you are looking to backtest a strategy. If you're doing anything to where you're looking to see if a strategy is working for you, make sure that you're backtesting in a time period that you're going to be trading, because for me, the New York session is the most volatile session. You're going to see like these big moves, and then like the Tokyo session just sideways. You get a little bit more volatility once the London session starts. So make sure if you're testing a strategy that you're testing it in a time frame that you'll be actively trading. A lot of channels that do back testing and stuff kind of just they'll go through and they'll back test every opportunity that trade presented itself. But if it's, you know, 3 a.m. for you, what are the odds that you'll be trading at 3 a.m.? So yeah, that's something I really like, this FX market sessions. And you can set your time for anything. Let me show you some of the settings here. So like you can open up the London session, the New York session, Tokyo, and then you can set the time for each one based on your own time zone and when you trade. So I only have session 2 checked, and then I set my time frame. So actually, I'm sorry, it's until 2 p.m. So it's 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for me. And then that's how I backtest. One thing I've seen recently that I've really been having to be careful of is trading too close to the opening bell. The 9:15 to 9:45 window on the New York session is extremely volatile, and you can get stop loss on a wick very quickly. So I tend to wait a little bit and see where let the volatility die down a little bit and see where we're going. As of right now, I'm looking for an opportunity to get a long position because it seems like we're holding above this 50 period moving average, and looks like we're holding above the 50 on the RSI. So we're going to watch this a little bit. I'm going to wait at least until there's a break of this resistance level, or we get to beyond the opening bell of the market and see if this continues to trend upwards. But I'll show you some moves yesterday that I made. So I did have a successful trade yesterday, and this is the volatility that I'm telling you about here. This was 9:30 opening 5-minute candle. If you were to long off of this, you would likely get stop loss within 15 minutes because it just sold right back down, retested the 50 a couple times, and actually broke through it. And I think I actually entered a trade on this bullish engulfing candle here. It did make a low, a higher low, and another higher low. So I was able to get a 2-to-1 here without getting stopped out. I got very close to getting stopped out. I set my stop loss at this level of support. And interestingly enough, it's almost the same level that I entered my trade 2 days ago. Because 2 days ago was a lot easier to trade because it was a much more solid momentum up, and I was able to enter right at the test of this 50 and just ride it up. I didn't get the entirety of the move. I wish I would have. And today I will also show if I get. Hey Baptista, hello, how are you? Welcome. If I get an opportunity to get into a trade today, I will go over how one thing that I've found for trading indices or Forex is to make multiple small orders. That way you can close out 2 or 3 orders and let another one ride and just let it go. If you can get, just show you guys kind of here. If you're long position and you take a long here, and you got your stop loss right around here, and you go 2-to-1. So 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you're out of this trade relatively quickly. And if you say you want to do a 2% reward for a 1% risk, you can break that up into 4 different trades at 1/4% risk on 4 trades. And then you can cash out 2 here and let 2 more ride and just set your stop loss to break even. So you're guaranteed to get at least that 1% gain. And then you can kind of just let the trade ride and set it for your next level of resistance. If you already have this line here for your resistance, you can set the rest of your trades to sell out here before the end of your session. Now you've got almost a 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And I tend to do that a lot, and I'll show you guys the Ftmo. MetaTrader 4 is what I'm using for trading on this account. And this is the Ftmo $100,000 challenge to get the funded account. But I use a position size calculator. So if I was to take a long here and set my stop loss to the bottom of this candle, 11,227, that'll give me a line for my stop loss. Now I know the position size that I can get for a 1/4% risk. For entering here, entering at the current price as it moves, with a stop loss at this price, at a 1/4% risk, this is how many lots I can buy. So if I were to do this now, it would be 15 lots. And then I could do 4 individual buys at that level and scale myself out of that position as I go. So the position size calculator is an add-on. There's a bunch of YouTube channels that show you how to add this on to the MetaTrader 4. I don't recall at the top of my head. I've done it once, and then it's just there in your indicators once you've done it. So I don't recall how to put it on there, but it's an easy look up on YouTube to find somebody that does it. But now I will get back to today's current session because I want to see where we're at. Yeah, it looks like we're kind of in a little bit of a chop right now, so I'm hesitant to enter the market in either direction right now. I will likely, like I said, wait for the opening bell of the market to see where the volatility goes. Because you see this kind of average volume, and then when you get opening bell for a New York session, you'll see this volume spike, and you'll get really big moves. So you don't want to be in a trade in the wrong direction when that happens. And some people love to trade that opening volatility. They'll give themselves a little bit more of a stop loss to do so. I like to keep things kind of tight and really controlled. And the key for this strategy is really just watching trend, staying above the 50 EMA for a long position, staying below the 50 EMA for a short position, and kind of not trading these areas here, just staying away from areas where you're just kind of weaving back and forth around the 50 period moving average. This is a no area for me, a no trade zone. Again, typically New York sessions don't have this much sideways trading. There's going to be more of your kind of like a Tokyo session or a London session chart. So here, just kind of waiting for the New York Open, but again, volatility will spike and we'll see which direction the trend goes. Ideally, I want my level of resistance here to break before entering a trade and then go long, or potentially hit that and then have a strong rejection off and for a short. But over the past, since yesterday, we've started a relatively strong uptrend. So I don't know if you were to kind of put a line on it like this, this would be about what our trend looks like as of right now. I don't typically put too much credence into these horizontal lines or these trend lines, because you can change them whenever you want. If it doesn't line up, you can move it. A trend zone, maybe, like if we were to make a zone here, it's a little bit more accurate, but I use it just as a reference point if I'm looking for just another confluence, but it wouldn't be a primary, it wouldn't be something I look at for my primary indicator. Again, right now we're just buzz sawing. We're just sawing sideways prior to market open, so there's no move to be made here. Take a look at US30 if there's any difference. Nope, US30 is doing the same thing. SPX 500 is doing the same thing. So I typically will only trade one at a time, but I keep them all up just because they typically move not necessarily in unison, but they definitely have correlation with their movements. So sometimes you can get a good trade where you can hit a US30 and a US100 trade at the same time and just kind of double up your orders, and you can knock out two trades in the same day in the same time period. So you're really only trading one move on two indices that are moving in unison. So that's something to look out for too, if you can identify when they're that kind of movement. If anybody available, let me know if the mic sounds okay. If you can even hear the background music. I got some background music playing, but it's not in my headset, so I don't know if you guys are able to hear it or not. Thank you, thank you. So again, real quick, while we're waiting for opening bell, I'm going to go back to like the beginning of the video and just kind of show you. I start on the hourly chart, and on the hourly, let me take the market sessions off. But on the hourly, I'm looking for levels of support and resistance to mark the chart first. Obviously, this is our lowest level of support. It touched twice. This is, I think, the lowest that the NASDAQ has hit. That was our local low. This area here was just a light resistance for a while, but I still want to mark it because we're going to be trading on the 5-minute chart, and that is going to be potentially a resistance level or a support level if the market was to dip down. Another level here where we've got a couple peaks that hit it, and then our current high where we're currently sitting is an area resistance level. There was resistance here, resistance here, resistance flipped from support, and then to go one level above where we are currently trading. Back here would be the next level of resistance where we've had a support touch and a support touch. So I try to go at least 2 levels below currently trading and then 2 levels above where we're currently trading. Then we'll go back to the 5-minute chart here. We'll put the market session back on. And again, just using a simple 50 period EMA. And that's just going to be our indicator to determine if we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. And again, if the EMA is running sideways like this, it's kind of a no trade zone for this style of trading because this is very much a trend dependent trading style. And ideally what you'd be looking for is a pullback coming back towards the 50 period moving average and then breaking back off of it. This was a little bit past where I typically trade. This is still open New York session. It's around 3 p.m. But this long wick bullish hammer, back-to-back hammers here would have been a great entry to get a long, and you could have gotten a 2-to-1 very quickly here. But that's just, you see the 50 period moving average running in an upward direction. The price action is coming away from it, comes back to it, touches it there, and then bounces off. And that could have been another very good long position trade. And your 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and you get that trade completed. I think it's less than an hour, 40 minutes, and that trade is completed. So yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for any move like that. Like I said, I think I got mine. It was either here or here where I entered. I don't remember yesterday where exactly I got in, but I got a good portion of this move. So if you're new and just joining, thank you for checking me out. Thank you for checking out the channel. As of right now, it's looking like we're kind of in a no trade zone because pre-market on the 5-minute chart is just kind of whipsawing back and forth. So there's no clear direction. And I'm hoping that once the opening bell rings for the New York session, we'll get a clear direction. But as of right now, for my strategy, it's looking like we will be eventually going long as long as the 50 EMA holds support, especially if the market's open and we get a strong move to the upside. Then we can wait for the first pullback after the session opens. And again, I'll go back to yesterday. And you can kind of see market open here, strong move up. There was a potential because of the high volatility at opening bell. I usually wait until about 15 to 20 minutes after opening bell, wait for some of the volatility to go down. But this would have been the best pullback opportunity to get in. And another one would have been here to get in. And like I was talking earlier, this is the area where I entered yesterday and was able to run this session up. So it was a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And that's typically what I'm looking for on scalp position. It's just a 2-to-1. But if anybody has anything for me, chat is wide open. I'm going to just stop going over the same things because as of right now, it's just a waiting game. Again, today could be a day where you could actually enter the same position in multiple indices because the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are looking really, really similar in the US 30. So a pullback to the 50-period moving average could happen on two or all three indices at the same time. You could have a long position on all three and get three positions open and closed within an hour or two and knock them all out at the same time. Those can be really good days. See, anybody mind if I take a look at some crypto charts? I haven't looked at crypto yet this morning. I've got some long-term draws I'd like to see until we know what's going on here. So yeah, Bitcoin is actually, crypto seems a little bit down today. XRP is up, but Bitcoin a little bit down. And here, Bitcoin would likely be in a short position for me, trading under the 50-period moving average. This would have been a great entry point on a short, kind of the opposite of what I spoke to on the US100 from yesterday's chart. Instead of a bullish hammer, you got a bearish hangman, and then a kind of a doji after that, and that would have been a nice 2-to-1 short position to get into on Bitcoin. So trading under the 50-period moving average is when you'd be looking for shorts. But again, between sessions, between New York sessions, it seems like there's getting a lot of just sideways trading in other markets. Once the Tokyo market starts and the London session starts, it seems like there's a lot of sideways between New York sessions. So that's why I've been primarily only trading New York sessions. But I just wanted to check out that crypto pair really quickly, and I'll get back on the NASDAQ. Again, still just kind of whipsawing side to side, not really any clear direction. So we'll take it from here. It will be interesting to see if any of you guys who are on the in chat right now haven't seen the volume spikes at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time for the New York session. It is kind of wild to see how quickly price will just start moving, and the same candle will go up and down quite a few points before settling in. Baptiste, if you're still in chat, what time is it in Dubai? Okay, so you're about 10 hours, 10-hour time difference. Okay, or 9 hours. So you could theoretically, if you work like an American standard 9 to 5 p.m. job, you could come home and trade the New York session in the evening after work. That's actually not a bad idea. Fortunately, I don't I don't get to work a standard hours. I work very late in the evenings. I work 2 p.m. to midnight, so I typically have to try to wake myself up early to catch the morning sessions, because if I don't, I could easily sleep until 11 or 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. and get up and go straight to work and stay up half the night. This market is extremely indecisive right now for pre-market. I'm actually concerned that I won't get a trade opportunity today if it stays this sideways. Hopefully, though, while the current trading has been boring and not anything I can really do to show you guys a trading strategy, hopefully at least going back and being able to show you previous times where there were viable options to enter was at least helpful. What I also don't like for a potential long is I don't like that it looks like it's starting to make some bearish divergence on the price. So it looks like the RSI, the strength of the move is weakening. The strength is weakening on the RSI while the price is making slightly higher highs. So we'll keep that in mind as well. Oh, there we go. Let's see what happens at 9:30. Let's see what happens once this market opens and see if we can get into get ourselves into a position. All right. Starting to pick up some volume. So again, like I said, once 9:30 hits this next candle, we'll move, and it'll move quick, and it may actually do one of these kind of whipsaw things like in the same candle. It'll go up and down and then settle somewhere. So let's see what happens at opening bell. I need to get a little, like a deli counter bell from my computer if I'm going to do these opening. If I'm going to continue the market open streams, I might do that. All right, looks like we're getting an immediate push to the upside. Let's see how this plays out. And if this does play out to where this continues to rise, we're going to wait for the first pullback in this session to come back towards the 50-period moving average, and we're going to get in on that first pullback. But what I don't want to do, or what I didn't want to do, was take an entrance anywhere in this area where the price was just whipsawing back and forth, because before the opening bell, before we knew which direction was going to move, and look at that volume spiking up. That's going to be a huge volume candle. And that's always what happens near opening bell, is that you get this big volume spike right at the opening of the market. And you kind of have to wait out that volatility a little bit. The easiest thing to do is to FOMO into something the moment you see that candle start to go up like crazy super fast, and then it comes right back down on you. So again, we're going to follow the strategy if I'm able to run the stream long enough to where we can get a pullback. Wow. Did I mention that that first candle was going to whipsaw back and forth? So in 2 minutes and a couple seconds, there's a 1/3% move essentially in the market up and down, and has pretty much stayed centered. I actually had to make that rule for myself to not be in a position at opening bell because of moves like this. Granted, if I had longed here and put my stop loss here, 2-to-1 would have cashed out immediately. But if you don't have that preset, you can get yourself stop loss very quickly. Oof, oof. You may be shorting. So if this candle plays out this way, I may actually cut the stream a little short, because as of right now, we've got no clear direction. We got pretty much a top here and a low around here. We have no clear direction yet. So I don't want to just sit here. I am not good enough of a speaker to just eat dead time. So I know my limitations with that. But again, I'll be checking in on the markets today until I have to leave for work, and I'll be looking to see if a trend does continue, either an uptrend continue, or if if we do break downward, because it does look like we are developing bearish divergence. This was our peak of RSI up here. We've been going up and price with lower RSI, so there is a potential to have a flip. So yeah, this strategy is highly contingent on having a developed trend that you can read the trend and you're able to trade with that trend. You don't want to be trading in a chop, because it's such a tight window of stop loss and take profit that it's too easy to get stopped out with a massive up and down candle like this. I'll give it another few minutes to see if it does actually persist to the upside, but I don't think we get out of this bandsaw action. That's a massive shift in volume. Just so many people waiting to trade the markets right at opening bell. So many retail traders that are just waiting for 9:30 to get in and out of the market. Do we still have correlation with them all? US 30. US 30 could be tradable if it gets a pullback because it's a little bit more of a decisive upward trend. However, it is also making some bearish divergence, so that's something to keep an eye on. And the SPX. The SPX is also showing a potential to stay in the uptrend, so keep an eye on that. And there we go. I think we've broken the divergence already coming through. We made a new high on the RSI, so the divergence has broken, so now we are clear to keep looking for uptrend. Actually, I spoke a little too early. Didn't realize there were still 2 minutes left in that candle, so let's wait it out and be patient. And for anybody who's new and doesn't know what this box is, this is FX market sessions. So this highlights the New York session for me, the time that I have available to trade from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is my trading area. This is my trading session time. So when I'm back testing strategies or different trades, I can back test in the time frames of days where I know that's where I'm actively going to be trading, because some strategies work better in different sessions. Honestly, you know, there's going to be a trading strategy for the Tokyo session or for the London session. So be aware of the session that you trade. Let's see, if I would have entered on this hammer or entered here or even here at the enter or at the start of this, typically you'll put your stop loss somewhere below this wick, and this was likely going to be stopped out here. And typically that would be a look that I like, because it also presents a 3-line strike, and that's one of my favorite trading setups on the candlestick setup is a 3-line strike. So you have 3 bearish candles in a row followed by an engulfing bullish candle, or vice versa. But you only want to take strikes that are in the direction of the trend. So like I wouldn't trade a 3-line strike bearish here in an uptrend. as of right now, our trend line that we drew and the 50 have been acting as a good support. So any pullback in this area could be an entry for a long. You look for a pullback and then you look for a bullish candle off of that pullback. Something like this, or a hammer, something along this line. And that's where we'd be looking to enter for today for a long position. So I'm going to call the stream here because it's been about 40 minutes already. And it could be another 15 to 20 minutes before there's a potential entry. But as of right now, we're still going up. We still have an upward momentum. The 50 period moving average is running upward. So we're looking for the first pullback for the day. After the 9:30 open, looking for a pullback to this area with a bounce off of it. And that's where we'll enter a long position. If it pulls back and it does not bounce and it runs through and it breaks through this, then you can potentially be trading on a different strategy. You can be trading a market reversal strategy where you're looking for the break of this trend line, a retest, and then shorting off of it. But it's a different video for a different day. So with all that being said, guys, I really do. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I hope you got something from it. I'll be trying to do this at least once a week, doing these market open streams. We'll probably stay on Wednesdays. And yeah, hopefully, within the next month, I am trading real money on the Ftmo challenge and not doing the challenge to get funded. You guys have a great day. As always, peace.